So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Hester going to decide against a return, and they will spot this at the 25. The NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go to the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
Now the AFC making their way out, and it's one of Coach's favorites, another local guy, Tom Brady, who will be at the controls. And boy, Coach always admired the way number 12 could run an offense, and especially his ability to stay calm under pressure.
Tom Brady is a guy who's always looking downfield. He never looks at the rush. He hangs in the pocket, and he makes a throw.
Touchdown! Tim Brown, 27 yards. And they are able to add on to their advantage. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Vinatieri now to tack on the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. They got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. Taking it about the 1. And he's going to be out of bounds. Here's the run back. Will leave him shy of the 20-yard line. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Charles, you think about all the success that John Madden had as an NFL head coach, and he had plenty, and we talked about it, including the 10 straight winning seasons, a Super Bowl title. But like any great coach, he also suffered through a few tough losses along the way as well.
And Brandon, those tough losses came in high-stakes games because they always had such great success. Think about it this way. 6 times in his 10 years, the Raiders were knocked out near the AFL championship game or the AFC championship game. But might be a divisional round exit. That's the one that bothered him most of all. Three River Stadium, December 1972. Yes, the Immaculate Reception game. Franco Harris grabbing the ball that was deflected. Almost at his shoe tops, he picked it up and took it in for a game-winning score to give the Steelers a 13-7 victory. And partner, anyone who loves black and silver still doesn't believe that ball hit anyone in black and silver that day, and that play should never have counted.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now Brady. They complete it to Hill. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
That 2nd down play nets a -4. Coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by the Raiders' own Trey Mosley. Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducted coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. The second half forthcoming from Oakland. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Deion Sanders. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the second half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
And they'll accept that penalty.
Automatic first down.
The roughing the kicker called on fourth down. What a big break. Leads to a 1st and 10. Throwing is far. That's swung out wide to Sanders. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds, right around the 7. 2nd down and 3. Ball on the 7. Shotgun snap, and then the give to Sanders. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run with Sanders, and he is in. Touchdown NFC. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the NFC able to use the short field as they cash in for 6. Morton Anderson now for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. So the drive there took 6 plays. And Barry Sanders the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. The offense for the AFC set to go now. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
When there's such a small lead, you thought he'd take better care of the football after his last drive. Now for the second straight possession, he's put all the pressure right back on his defense. They need to take a stand and hold that lead.
And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. with Sanders. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. So for Coach Madden, Charles, here by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. This offense returning out there, and really, you remember the last drive, Charles, it was over before it even began. They threw the interception on the very first play.
And what that means is for all these guys, it's been a while since they've been out there going full speed, so they've got to get everyone back out there, run a couple of your go-to plays, make sure you get your offense oiled up a little bit. They've got to be able to start fast, but they've got to be efficient as well. Especially the quarterback.
To throw again on second down. Brady. His throw incomplete. As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you talk about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when he used words like boom and pow. He helped create the old Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too.
3 quarters complete now in the John Madden legacy game from Oakland. It's the AFC on top, and we're back to the Coliseum after this. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Hey. On play action, it's Brady. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for. And it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Deion Sanders, the Hall of Famer, with a pick. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
So, CD, you look at the accumulation of John Madden's achievements in the world of football, the coaching success, the Super Bowl title, the incredible career as a broadcaster with 12 Emmy Awards, Madden the video game. It was very fitting back in 2006 that John Madden got the call to be enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A more deserving person you will not find. He gave an incredible speech on that day, Brandon. So many of his former Raider players were in attendance. He talked about how he envisioned that when the last person turns off the lights in the hall every night, that the bus talk football amongst themselves. and what a discussion that might be.
Yeah, he finished his speech by saying, today feels like the second time in my life that I'm being carried off on the shoulders of... Oh, no, he lost the football. And that's picked up by the AFC. The big fella. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10. And this defense has broken it open as they return it to the house for 6. Vinatieri now for the point after. It's good, and it's 21-10. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And Hester content to hold on to this one and bring it out to the 25. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. And they have done themselves absolutely no favors to earn a win today in this one, Charles. The turnover woes continue. On that last drive, they had that fumble that led to a touchdown.
And, Brandon, I would say they have a mission on this drive, and the bottom line is protect the football and just put together something. Can let the last drive go. Yeah, it was a bad play. They gave up points, but that doesn't mean it has to go that way the rest of this ball game. Do what you do best on offense and try and put the ball in the end zone yourself.
Here's Favre to throw. The same target, same result. It's Kittle. You think about John Madden in his retirement years post-broadcasting. He was about as active as most people are in their working years. I mean, he continued to play a key role on the NFL's competition committee. He was available to a wide range of people as a tutor, as a mentor. He continued to teach the game of football to all who would listen. And Charles, as you and I know, he even continued to provide input, a lot of input on the Madden video game.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks that design and build this game certainly look forward to their yearly visits out to the Madden compound that he had out in the East Bay. They pitch the new aspects of each year's game to him, get his feedback, and then get to sit back and spend 6 hours with him on a Sunday, watching football and listening to him tell stories and talk even more ball. It had to be an incredible experience for all involved.
That's complete, right around the 8. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Favre. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. He's at the 50, 30, 10, 5, and he is going to score. It's a pick six and an AFC touchdown. Well, that's what you get, apparently, when you try to take on a Pro Bowl cornerback. I mean, what a play there to make the interception and also bring it back for 6.
And he is so good that we've seen teams absolutely stay away from throwing the ball at him. Here, he's just reading the quarterback's eyes the entire way, makes a great play on the football, and turns it into 6.
Vinatieri now to tack on the PAT. And the lead is up to 18 now. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. Hester going to decide against a return, and they will spot this at the 25. Defense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. Where we stand right now, the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds out. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. NFC able to cut into that lead. Anderson on for the extra point. And that one makes this an 11-point deficit now. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's finished off by an NFC touchdown. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick.
Toe to the leather on that one. Their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. Oh, wait, hold everything. A timeout has been called. Seemingly silly with 1 second remaining in this game. Protect the football and take his lumps here at this. So it's a win here for the AFC on an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. Before we go.